Hi, it's Jessica, and today I am here to share with you 5 tips on how to become a copywriter if you're a beginner. Okay, so if you are a writer who's looking to get into copywriting, maybe you heard about the career of copywriting, or if you are someone who's been looking for a way to make money working from home, um, and maybe you heard of this thing called writing and blogging and copywriting, then this video is certainly for you. I started out in the world as a writer, in the world of freelancing as a writer about 6 years ago, maybe a little longer actually, but I would say about 6 years ago. And I would do like technical writing. I would write like manuals, very complicated manuals. I would do blogging, things like that. And then I got wind of a different kind of writing, a more specialized form of writing called copywriting, where you're basically just a salesman, but you're a written salesman. And I just was intrigued with the idea of being able to sell to people through your words and to be transforming their lives through your marketing, because that's pretty much what you're doing. Like, you're connecting them with a desire or a want or something that maybe they didn't know they wanted, but they need or would enhance their life in some kind of way, and then you as the writer would be bridging the gap. You're also there on behalf of companies, and you're helping them get their message across. You're helping them make more money and make a bigger impact in the world. So that's what the world of copywriting is about. And when I discovered that career, I was really excited about it, and I just jumped right in. So in future videos, I'll share more about my journey into copywriting, and I plan to share lots of cool information with you. But for now, I don't want to overwhelm you. Instead, what I'm going to do is just share with you 5 tips for people who are just getting started. Things that I found helped me really well. Helps me really get up to speed really quick, because at this point I make a lot of money with my writing, but I didn't start off that way. I started off making, like everyone starts off. I started from the beginning making nothing. So here, let's get started. I also wrote them down just to keep me on track. So number 1, you do not need to be a writer to get started. Yes, I said it. No, you do not need to. You do not need to have like a background in writing books or whatever in order to become a copywriter. Probably you would. Chances are you may already be doing some sort of writing, and that's how you even saw copywriting and was interested in it. That's probably why you're here. But if you're not into writing, and maybe you have some other thing that you're good at, then absolutely you do not need to be a writer in order to get started, okay? Because basically this type of writing is not like any other kind of writing. A lot of things that you're taught in school is not applied. You're not writing a report when you're doing copywriting. Like, it wouldn't work, okay? So a lot of the formal training you may have in English and in writing would not even apply here. So no, you do not need to be a writer to get started, okay? Instead, number 2 is what's going to really help you get an understanding of what copywriting is, and that would be my advice is to read the junk mail that comes into your mailbox. So most of us, those of us who even gets mail, especially if you're in the U.S., every now and then I'm sure you go to the mailbox and there's junk mail. Someone's trying to sell you something, right? Whether it's I don't know the kind of junk mail. Like, it just varies from burial insurance to car warranty stuff. It's all kinds of stuff that people are trying to sell, via mail. I recommend, if you're serious about becoming a copywriter and you really want to understand effective copywriting, stop and read the junk mail, because that's going to give you an idea of the kind of thinking you need to have. It's just really good to start absorbing all of that information. So the junk mail that comes into your mailbox, start reading it, okay? Even from like the catchy headlines and the slogans and all that stuff, just start reading that and paying in close attention, okay? All right, tip number 3, pay attention to what grabs your attention. If you hear a commercial if you see a sign, if you get junk mail, or if you get an email, regardless of what it is, if something piques your attention, if it interests you, if it makes you go, like that, that's something to pay attention to, because that's a sign of good copy. That means that it caught your attention and it maintains your attention. And something about that meant that you are in the target market. Maybe not fully, maybe a little bit, but I would absolutely recommend anything that catches your attention, any kind of advertisement, anything that you read, absolutely take it and maybe analyze it, read it over and over again. Ask yourself, what about this really captured my attention? Was it the word usage? Was it the word combination? Was it the setup prior to, before something? Was it the punchline? Was it the call to action? What about this advertisement caught my attention? Okay, so yeah, that's my third tip. My fourth tip is join email list and read emails. So a lot of us, I read somewhere where there was some kind of survey that said majority of people get like 92 emails a day. That's a lot, I know. But if you're getting emails from people, the people who wrote that were 9 times out of 10 copywriters. Those were people that were getting paid to write that, and the company sent that to you. And since this is the industry you're wanting to get into, it makes a lot of sense that you pay attention to that, okay? So join email lists. And join email list, this actually ties into number 5, which is join email lists in industries that you're interested in. So whether you're interested in, I don't know, home improvement, painting, aquatics, yoga, I don't know, electricity, like whatever your interest is, military, I don't know, military armor, whatever your interest is, whatever industry you're looking to go into, I just highly recommend you start scoping out those areas. Start scoping out the companies that are in those areas, companies that you would love to write for. Join those email lists and start reading the emails that come into your inbox. That way you get familiar with how the copy is written. You get a sense of their voice. And all this is just really just training you to understand how things are written. And then my bonus tip for you is to start, like, if you read something that you really like, rewrite it. And when I say rewrite it, I actually don't mean to write in your own words. Write exactly what they wrote. And this is for you. This is for your own practice, so that you can kind of start physically getting yourself into actually producing the writing the way they're producing it. Okay? I would say that those are definitely tips that are going to help you get started if you're a beginner. Okay? Remember, I started as a writer about 6 years ago. I actually began copywriting and making really good money about 4 years ago. And it's just only gone up from there. Like, you just get better year after year. You just keep expanding. You start seeing, so much comes with it. And it's a career path that has fast growth if you take it seriously, and if you're committed to teaching yourself, okay? And if you're also committed to just, like I say, paying attention to the world around you, all right? So I'm going to recap the tips that I recommend all beginner copywriters use to help them get started. And again, that's number 1, remember, you do not need to be a writer already, okay? Number 2, read that junk mail, the junk mail that comes into your mailbox. Like, pay attention to it. Pay attention to what stands out in it. People are getting paid to write that. That didn't just magically appear in your mailbox. Like, money was invested into it. So I recommend you read it so that you can get into the thinking and habits and word structures of good copywriters, okay? Tip number 3, pay attention to what grabs your attention, all right? Anything that's sparking the emotion, whether it's getting you excited, whether it made you a little angry, maybe it made you a little uncomfortable, whatever it is, pay attention to it. Pay attention to the word usage, word combinations, how did they formulate everything together? Like, look at the entire picture and start paying attention to it, because those are things that you're going to need to know in order to become a really great copywriter. Tip number 4, join email lists and read emails. all these emails that you get every day in your inbox, start reading those emails. Again, someone was paid. Those companies paid someone. Copywriters wrote those emails. Start reading them, okay? Start seeing how they put things together. Start paying attention, okay? Pay attention. Pay attention is probably the theme that I'm noticing. Pay attention to what's, coming into your mailbox. All right. And then the last tip is to get great at a particular industry. So whatever it is you're interested in, jewelry, clothing, animals, sports, water sports, like whatever it is your interest, just start really paying attention to those areas. Start paying attention to the companies that you really admire. Start joining their email list and see how the writers are producing writing for them. You can, and if you need help finding those industries, I would recommend, like, LinkedIn is a great source. Of course, Googling companies in those industries, and start joining those email lists. I guarantee you this will make a huge difference. And something I also want to throw out there is try not to have resistance when you're reading it, because you're trying to transfer yourself from being a consumer to being the copywriter in this sense, so that you can learn the trade faster. Okay, so like I was the kind of person I don't want to read the junk mail. I don't really read emails. That was me, but I was also being a consumer, But once I started training myself to think like a copywriter, I started using it as almost like a spying opportunity. Start seeing what is the competition doing, or people who I want to build alliances with. What are they doing, so that I can align with their writing style, their writing voice, seeing what's effective. Okay. All right. So those are all of my tips for my 5 tips for people who are wanting to jump into copywriting. Again, it's a wonderful career, fast track to success. You can do it. And I'm definitely looking forward to sharing more videos in the future. And you know what? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And then drop me a comment below and let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me to share, okay? All right, I will talk to you later.